Viewers are invited to post their location and local time before settling in because what unfolds here is a sunrise drama in the middle of grape country, the kind that makes you check twice to be sure you're awake. The morning fog over Sonoma County lies heavy, a soft gray curtain hiding the vines, the hills, and soon enough, the kind of stunt that will make HOA legends for all the wrong reasons. Max Sullivan stands among his Cabernet vines, the dew still clinging to each cluster he's tended for a full season, when the quiet is broken by the unmistakable growl of a polished black Cadillac Escalade rolling down his gravel drive. Behind it, two white pickups with HOA security emblazoned on the sides rumble along like sidekicks in a low-budget movie. Out steps Karen Thompson, HOA chairwoman, styled like she's en route to a boardroom instead of a Vineyard Prada, Shades, Armani suit, and a stride that screams, "I'm here to own you." She doesn't bother with pleasantries. "Mr. Sullivan, these grapes violate community agricultural safety standards. Confiscate them immediately," she declares, flanked by her muscle. Chad, tall and built like he's allergic to thinking, and Brett, who looks like he'd rather be fishing. Within seconds, crates are being hoisted onto trucks. One slips, spilling a purple avalanche across the gravel. Juice splashes Karen's white shoes. Her shriek could rattle jars in the next county. Historians still argue whether her dignity hit the ground before or after the grapes. Emily Max's 21-year-old daughter and Stanford law student is already filming. She pivots from casual morning TikTok to full-blown legal live stream, retitling it HOA Stealing from My Family Live. Comments begin pouring in, outraged disbelief offers to drive over right now. Max doesn't shout. He doesn't lunge for his grapes. Instead, he sends one short text. Phase 1 has begun. The reply, standing by, comes almost instantly. He watches the clock, letting Karen and her crew believe they're untouchable, letting Emily's viewer count climb into the thousands. At minute 8, Karen tries to order Emily to shut down the stream. Emily just smiles and tilts her phone for a better angle, knowing exactly where the legal lines are. By minute 10, the trucks are full. Karen's smug as a cat in a creamery, and Max finally steps forward, voice low and calm. "Enjoy your moment, Karen. In about 30 seconds, you're going to understand the real meaning of ownership." Somewhere in that fog, the real stage is about to appear. The fog begins to thin, and with it Karen's illusion of control. Max walks toward a massive steel gate, half hidden in the mist, fishing out a key ring that jingles like a prelude. The padlock clicks, the hinges groan, and the gate swings open to reveal a sign so large it could double as a drive-in movie screen. Sonoma Federal Agricultural Storage Facility, USDA authorized, in bold, unmistakable lettering. Beneath it, a list of federal regulations and penalties that would make even seasoned lawyers gulp. Chad's clipboard slips from his hands. Brett takes a small step back. Karen's color drains to that pale room temperature milk shade, the one that signals her brain is connecting unpleasant dots. "That's impossible," she stammers. "I checked the records." Max doesn't raise his voice. "Karen, every grape you just loaded is a federally regulated commodity. Moving them without authorization isn't just theft, it's a federal crime." Historians still argue whether she looked more like a fish or a deer in that moment, but either way, she wasn't blinking much. Then comes Jake Rodriguez emerging from behind the facility like he's been waiting for his cue. Leather briefcase in hand, former corporate insider and, more importantly, keeper of every incriminating scrap Karen never thought would see daylight. He introduces himself for the cameras, then starts unpacking the paper trail under the table deals, manufactured violations, and an agreement promising Karen $500,000 for every farm she could remediate into corporate hands. Emily seamlessly switches her stream to YouTube, her audience snowballing. Comments blur by, "Lock her up." "This is wild. My cousin farms in Sonoma, sending this to him now." Jake reads aloud an email titled Operation Clean Sweep, where Karen lays out the plan to seize Max's grapes, cite him for agricultural abandonment, and force the land sale. By now, the fog has lifted completely, and so has the curtain on Karen's little empire. 3 farmers she's already ruined arrive, each with their own files and their own anger. Maria Martinez tells how she sold under threat of federal prosecution. David Wilson talks about his 4 generations of vines bulldozed for a parking lot. Bill Peterson lost his orchard. The camera catches Karen glancing at escape routes like a cornered raccoon. Max just stands there, arms folded, as the evidence piles up and Emily's stream turns into a public trial. Somewhere in the distance, sirens start to wail, layered, urgent, and getting closer. The stage is set for the kind of arrival that will strip the last scraps of authority from Karen's designer-clad shoulders. The sirens grow louder until the driveway fills with flashing lights. First the county sheriff's cruiser, then 3 black SUVs with federal plates, their doors swinging open in unison like a choreographed takedown scene. Out steps Agent Sarah Mitchell of the FBI credentials, gleaming expression carved from stone. Miss Karen Thompson, she announces, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit wire fraud, agricultural commodity manipulation, and violation of federal interstate commerce regulations. Chad and Brett freeze mid-breath. Brett looks ready to faint. Chad still tries the just following orders routine. It doesn't land. The agents cuff them while Karen's voice goes up an octave, accusing everyone in sight of corruption, theft, and probably bad table manners. Emily's stream ticks past 50,000 viewers. Someone in the comments claims they're translating live into Portuguese. Then Max decides it's time for the final card. From his pickup, he hauls out a massive rolled map and spreads it across the hood of Agent Mitchell's SUV. It's a land ownership chart of the entire southeastern Sonoma County Agricultural District, color-coded, detailed, undeniable. And in green, nearly 80% of the land all his. The crowd murmurs. Emily, for once, stumbles into pure disbelief. Holy guys, my dad owns this entire valley. Max explains every green property was a farm Karen tried to destroy. He'd quietly bought them at fair market value, kept the families on as partners, and protected the land from corporate grabs. The 3 farmers stare in shock, Maria with tears, David realizing his vineyard is being replanted, Bill finally smiling about his orchard. And then the wind down starts, not in words, but in the way the crowd shifts from outrage to relief. The agents lead Karen into the back of a federal vehicle, her protests muffled by the door. Reporters swarm Max, but he's looking past them over the vines to the hills. The sun is high now, the fog gone, the valley open and whole. The next weeks bring courtroom justice Karen guilty on 18 counts, $3.2 million restitution split among victims, and Redfield Beverages bankrupt. The Sullivan Agricultural Preservation Trust is born, the Farmers Alliance grows, and the region thrives under protection. And on a quiet evening, Max and Emily walk the vineyard. She snaps a photo of the weathered sign, Sullivan Vineyard Est, 1952, not for posting, just for keeping. They stop by his grandfather's grave, leaving a perfect cluster of Cabernet. The air smells of grapes and earth, and the sky glows in the same colors as the valley's harvest. Sometimes Max thinks the best revenge is simply to keep what's yours and make sure it stays that way for everyone. His voice drops low, almost a whisper, carrying only to Emily and the rows of vines. We didn't just save our land, kiddo. We saved the whole valley. The last light fades, the vines stand dark and still, and the day exhales into peace.